Today I'm sharing my full 8-year and over €10,000 hair loss journey year by year. My name is Jesse and I've been suffering from hair loss since the age of 19, nearly lost all my hair at 25, and today I look like this at 27. If you are a male aged 18 to 28 years old, this video is made especially for you. And if you stick around until the end, I promise you get a cool bonus. This is me on my 18th birthday. Back then I didn't care much about my hair at all and I just let it grow until it became annoying. Hair loss was not a concern, but it all was downhill from here. In 2016 I experienced an extreme shedding phase. Every time I ran my hand through my hair I'd find 10 or more hairs in my hand. And in the shower it would be even worse with maybe 20 hairs every time. It was absolutely terrifying. My first attempt to stop this was using caffeine shampoo, and while it made my hair feel a bit thicker and nicer, it didn't stop the shedding at all. And after 3 bottles I gave up on it. Eventually the shedding stabilized and I thought there was no hair loss, so I just moved on as if nothing happened. In the summer of 2017 I was playing sports outside and during the event some pictures were taken. After the event I looked at the pictures and I looked at my own balding crown for the very first time. I absolutely panicked and became very self-conscious from then on. So my dad is a full Norwood 7 and I really wanted to avoid that. Now, being the smart person I am, I asked him for advice, and he told me there were no real options aside from one drug that would almost remove all your testosterone, which sounded just way too scary to look further into. It's a surprise tool that will help us later. Feeling defeated, I tried to ignore the problem, and because my hair loss wasn't immediately visible, I mean it was all the way at the back, I couldn't easily see it, so I just acted as if it didn't exist, which worked for a while, but not for long. A small disclaimer, I do not blame my dad for this, don't get me wrong. It was my fault I didn't look into my options. In 2020 I noticed the hair loss progressing more and more on the front hairline as well, and I even caught a glimpse of my own very bald crown a couple times. It was so bad there was just no more ignoring the situation, and I started wearing hats all the time to just ignore my hair loss as I did before. But again, not for long. 2021 was the turning point. Wearing a hat all the time was not possible, and not wearing one felt awful because my hair kept getting worse and worse and I didn't want to show that. And so I admit defeat, I started shaving my hair short and I was sorta okay with losing everything. I saw a clear choice that I needed to make. The choice was to either lose more and more hair until everything was gone and having to accept I would look way older than my actual age. Again, I was only 24, or to fully resist the hair loss and trying to restore it as much as I can. And I chose to fight back. Determined with a new goal, I started looking into my options and had a few consultations with local hair transplant clinics as well. Do you remember the "it's a surprise tool that will help us later" or the pill that would remove your testosterone? Well, that drug was called finasteride. The hair transplant clinic I preferred wouldn't even do the procedure unless I was on finasteride for at least a year to make sure I kept the hair I still had. And so I started oral finasteride on June 3rd, 2022 at 1 milligram per day. And when starting I was very afraid of the side effects and then experienced them myself. But then a friend told me about the nocebo effect. And the nocebo effect is when you think something will work against you and therefore it will do so, which is the opposite of a placebo effect. And just knowing about this solved all my side effects, because I realized all my side effects were in my head, and it taught me a valuable lesson about mindset and how we can easily mislead ourselves. And the funny thing is, as you can see, I even had an above average response from finasteride. In January 2023 I started using topical minoxidil as spray, but had to stop it after a month because it was absolutely unbearable, because it made my hair extremely greasy. The alternative was the foam variant, but that one is not available in my country, and getting a prescription for oral minoxidil was just absolutely impossible. So I just kept it at finasteride. But that was a small thing, because on August 30th, 2023, I had my first hair transplant done locally in the Netherlands. The hair transplant consisted of only 1700 grafts instead of the more usual 2500. Why? Because aside from my normal androgenic alopecia, which is just male pattern baldness, I also suffer from retrograde alopecia, which is the same kind of hair loss, but it's more around the sides. And in my case, it's like a big circle around my ears with a lot of hair loss. This meant my donor region was already very thin to begin with. And it took a couple months, but eventually there was slow but visible improvement week after week. Right now is June of 2024 and it hasn't even been a year since my transplant, so I haven't even fully recovered yet, but I'm still extremely happy with the progress. I mean, the front is better and my barber can't even notice I had a hair transplant in the back either. The best part is that my hairstyle is now no longer dictated by external forces, but by my own choice, and it feels empowering and amazing, honestly. Like some days I can wear it to the front, some days I wear it to the side, but it doesn't matter because it's my own choice. Looking ahead, I might start oral minoxidil later this year as my hair transplant clinic can prescribe it to me. So if you are struggling to get a prescription you really want, definitely ask a hair transplant clinic what they are able to do for you. And you heard me talk about my first transplant, which means there will be another one in the future, because it may look alright at the front. I'm not afraid to show my crown, which is still bald. So my journey of fighting hair loss continues onwards. If you suffer from hair loss and think, I would really like to avoid wasting years of my time and all my life savings, then I have the perfect bonus for you. I created a free community that only talks about fighting hair loss so you don't have to fight alone. This community has judgment-free support, tips to make your fight easier, privacy, so no spying eyes from outsiders and search engines, and much more. Also, this community is free and private forever. Click the link below to join for free at folliclefixers.com, where you'll be redirected to a school sign-up page. If you have any questions, leave them below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.